Hey, good evening. This is Nicolina Nix, and you're here for another episode of Women, Wit, and Wine. And our topic tonight is human nature, and definitely I took the title from a Madonna song, Human Nature. Oops, I didn't mean to talk about sex. And I thought that was very fitting for a lot of attitudes for people and how society sees women who are sexual beings, who's sexually aware. I want to say sexually aware and sexually confident. And that there's this stigma of that if we are sexually confident women, we are not good women. But, today's show is definitely here to talk about that issue in itself. I do have my guest here, Diana.
Hello.
Welcome. Tonight we are drinking a sangria from Dimming, and it is a nice sweet wine like sangrias are. I didn't bring any fruit for you, though.
It's
Sorry.
all right.
Sorry, there's no fruit.
I'm sweet enough.
No fruit. Well, absolutely, you're sweet enough. So, one of the things is we were talking just before we came on air is years ago I wrote articles about sex, and it was very, very broad range of sex, anywhere from bisexuality to swinging to what men want kind of thing. I had this guy that I dated once, and he says, most men want just some woman that's going to worship his cock and appreciate it.
Like
and appreciate it.
Yeah, that's right.
There's nothing wrong with, and that's the whole thing, is there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I remember being in a relationship where, where I prided myself on my oral skills. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And in the relationship that I was in, it was kind of like almost like the first time we were kind of dating, and I went there, he kind of went, thanks, that was nice. And I felt like saying, what did I give you, a fucking cookie? I mean, women...
yeah, that definitely hurts somebody's self-esteem.
Women don't want to hear that. We want to hear that we are the best cocksucker in the world.
Anything, right?
Anything. Praise me. Praise my skills. Praise my talent. I understand that might not be your thing. But when you come up and you go, thank you, that was nice. I didn't give you a cookie. Please don't pat me on the head.
I mean, was he just not into it?
He really was not into it.
Just didn't know what to expect.
That was just not his...
It wasn't his...
That wasn't his thing, and that's okay. But when you're in the moment...
Well, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes sucking a dick will get me hot.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's a turn on for me sometimes. It ain't even about you sometimes. Let me do me because it's going to get me heated where I need to be.
Right. Sometimes it's about that turn on to you.
Yeah.
Because that was, for me, for a long time, something that I was very proud of, that I could do. I was just awesome about it. And I would probably say in that relationship is probably where I became the least sexually confident that I had been in my life, in my entire life, I don't know, I was about 42 about then,
When this happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was like about 39, 40, right in there. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden I became this insecure person, and that wasn't me. That wasn't who I was.
Well, like when you fall off a horse, you got to get on another little girl. When you suck a bad dick, I don't know, just suck another one. I'm sure you'll forget somebody else is going to tell you you're doing well.
Well, I agree. I
even ask for an encore on that.
Could we have an encore, please? Please? So, and that was a big thing for me. And I mean, sex was a big thing for me in regards to...
Okay. I don't know. You know what? I've always been a sexual person, though. For me, anything. Like, I've always been, I like to touch. I don't know why, but I like to touch. I like to know what everything feels like. All body parts, all the skin parts, everything. I'm definitely a fondler. I'm very into foreplay. Mm-hmm. I love foreplay. Sometimes foreplay is better than sex. Not even
absolutely. Sometimes
it leaves you yearning for that more. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you just jump right in the sack right away, it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
We're done here. Okay. Good game and bye.
And a partner that knows
how to build that up
and is aware
leave you wanting more.
Aware of what you need, that doesn't feel like they're tuning in their radio dials when they're touching you.
Sex is supposed to be fun anyway. It's not a job. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. And I definitely believe there's a big difference between, like, sex, just sex, and then love. Making love and just straight up fucking.
Well, sex is sex and love is love. You gotta know the difference between the two. I mean, when you have an emotional connection with somebody, and I'm talking about a love emotional connection with somebody, then you make love to somebody. Mm-hmm. However, you can still have sex with that person.
Oh, yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you just want it rough and like you just found me in the bathroom and you just get it on.
Just
absolutely.
Throw me over the kitchen counter.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Come home.
Make me feel like a prostitute for about 20 minutes. I'm good with that.
So, yeah, I mean, sorry, that's my dogs. So yes, I mean, I know that, for most of my life, I've lived that way. Mm-hmm. And then probably in that period of time, I didn't live that way. However, I was still finding that connection outside of my relationship.
Yeah.
But you have to think about when did that start for you? I mean, when did you become aware of who you were as a sexual being?
For me, it was a really young age, because I think for me it was my body developed before my mind. Mm-hmm. So I looked a lot older than what I was, and so I always attracted that attention. It wasn't always the best attention, but I was aware of that at a really, really young age. And I'm not going to lie, I think I used it to my advantage a lot of the times, because I always felt, and I know it's bad to be this way, but I wasn't a puta, I wasn't a little whore, but I definitely used the way I look and the way I can persuade people to my advantage, using some sort of sexual appeal.
What's the saying? We sit on a gold mine, we just don't know it.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
I know it. I knew it. I found it out very young.
There's a lot that you can gain with it, mm-hmm. without even realizing that you've used that power.
Sometimes the power isn't, it really is gaining what you want without having to put out, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's the difference between people who really know how to use their sexual being, like themselves, opposed to just being a whore to get what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference in that. And like I said, for me, I learned how to use that at a young age.
Well, you could have this entourage of men, and then, and just think that, you could get all this stuff, but then you have to feel like eventually you got to give it, mm-hmm. but you don't necessarily have to give it if you play it right.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
And it doesn't make you less of a person.
It makes you smarter than the guy who's trying to chase your ass trying to get it. That's a damn
right. For me, it's like I thought about stuff like that. Growing. I think from my generation and my culture, it definitely is. It was something my mother was saying was always, it's easy to fall in love with a rich man and it is to fall in love with a poor man. Mm-hmm. And so basically, my focus should be on a man with money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that that's what's going to make me happy. It's just what my focus should be on.
Because that's what's going to take care of you.
Because that's what's mm-hmm. going to take care of it. But it's just not going to want to make me happy.
Yeah.
I remember I developed, I was like kind of a late bloomer, but all of a sudden it was like, boom, I had boobs.
No, I didn't have that problem. I'm not going to lie. In high school, I got teased. Because I was always in a lot of sports. I did cross country. I was in cheerleading, drill team, ROTC for years. So I was always physically fit. It was very hard for me to put on weight, and I had like a big old butt, big old boobs, and I got mm-hmm. teased a lot. I think like my senior year, people teased me all the time that like they thought I had breast implants. That sucked. Mm-hmm. That sucks. But yeah, no, just what God gave me.
I remember being in the 9th grade and people going, "Are those real?"
Yes.
And No,
I stupid shit like
I freaking stuck 2 cantaloupes in my shirt.
It totally gives you a complex sometimes. It makes you very insecure about the way you look sometimes because people think you look fake or whatever. You know what I mean? Because now you know people are talking about you. So
I think for me,
as a kid, it's rough. As an adult, I don't care.
I'm a nerd.
I take it differently.
I was kind of a geeky child. I kind of looked like Elton John's sister. Unfortunately, Elton John's sister. Absolutely, please do. I felt like Elton John's sister because I always had the geeky haircuts and geeky glasses but I had big boobs, Yeah. But I also kind of went through this phase of as soon as I hit puberty, it became this cycle with my mother of, are you pregnant? No, Mom. Are you sure? Yes, Mom. Do you want to go get checked? Sure, Mom.
I mean, was she wanting to be a grandma at a young age?
No.
Is that why she was always so persistent with it with you?
No, because I think that she thinks that because, my mom was one of those people that because, this is what happened to her at a young age, God forbid, it had to be happening to me. Yeah. And so, sorry, it's a cat. But, so after a while, you start thinking, wow, maybe there's something to this because she keeps accusing me of something.
Yeah. Is it that good that I need to go and try it? Well,
maybe I need to get out there and get on that disco stick.
Let me figure that out then. Let me see what she's trying to warn me so much about. So she put the idea, she planted the seed more than anything.
Yeah, for me, sure she did. Sure she did. Because I just don't know that I never really thought about it, See,
in my family, in my culture, in the Mexican, we're old school traditional Mexican, my family is. And yeah, no, we don't talk about that. We didn't talk about sex growing up. No, hell no. If you brought anything up sexual, anything like that in the family, like, I'm not kidding you, like, they would pray the rosary over us and stuff like that. Me and my cousin one time had said something, we're talking about sex, and yeah, that's what happened. Like, my grandma, my aunts, and everything showed up, and this is my family in California. And they all started praying the rosary over us because, like, we were doing something wrong and we're speaking of things that we were not supposed to. How do they talk to us about these things, though? Because both me and my older cousin were teen moms at one point, And, again, these are things that in our culture, we don't speak of.
Right.
We just don't do that. It's not appropriate or anything like that. Not even behind doors. You just don't even talk about it. I am so different. I'm like an open book to my kids. I talk to them about everything because I feel that if they've talked to me, I may have not looked elsewhere for the answers that I was seeking. You know what I mean? I had so many questions, but we couldn't talk about nothing in my house. So I found them every which way, other ways, Well,
one thing I can say about my family is we did have books and stuff like that. And so that was accessible.
Girl, the only book we had in our house was the Bible, and that shit was in Spanish, please.
I mean, so that was accessible for me, but still, even then, you have this guilt thing of, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Mm-hmm. Well, no, I'm not doing it.
But you get accused enough times that you might as well go out and do it anyways,
if you're
right?
going to continue
you're going to blame me,
accuse me of having sex, I might as well be having sex.
That's right.
So, I was a teen mom. Mm-hmm. My oldest daughter is 33. And, I got pregnant at 17 and had her at 18. So I was a teen mom.
We were all curious.
I was a teen mom. Her father was from Mexico. So, and, but, that was totally a different issue. Mm-hmm. Mine was an issue of, my parents were, Anglo, Caucasian,
Yeah.
And I got in trouble because I had a crush on a boy named Anthony Torres, and I got in trouble.
You were dating outside your race?
I was totally dating outside. No, I was holding hands outside my race. That's all I was doing. I was in the 8th grade and holding hands.
Oh.
And so I got slapped and told I should never like another one again.
See, that's interesting. You're not the first Caucasian person who's told me something about their parents wanting to stick to their own kind, which is really weird because, like my culture, and I know a lot of people in my culture, the men, I would have to say, are the most insecure when it comes to black people, black guys. I think Hispanic guys are very insecure when it comes to African American males, for whatever reason. I don't know. But, like, my dad and people in my family, we've never been like that. I think because for us, we've dealt with people being racist to us, that we've never saw them, any different from us, the people of color just like us, I think. And I know growing up that my parents always told me it didn't matter whoever I ended up with as long as they treated me right, And my situations have been a little different, though. That's not, even though I got told that, that's not the way it went for me, but I'm just saying, I was taught to believe that it doesn't matter that what color of skin the person is. If you care about them and they're going to care about you, that's all that matters.
I just want somebody that respects my children,
right?
Yes. And that has nothing to do with, I think my daughter went through that phase of thinking that I was, a racist parent, and it was
like hard, huh? Especially and it was since she's mixed.
No, my youngest.
Oh,
my youngest, because her dad is Anglo, my oldest was raised to be white. Mm-hmm. That's how my mom raised her. So she never took advantage of, and I used to tell her, it's like, there's an advantage to the fact that you are half Spanish. Mm-hmm. You have this advantage. You can get a good education. You can apply for grants. These are advantages.
Yes and no.
You can.
Yes and
These are advantages.
I don't qualify for a lot of those things.
These are advantages that you can try for. Mm-hmm. That my youngest will never have.
Okay, I can see that. Yes, that is true.
So, I think there's a lot of...
she'll also have problems and deal with issues that your youngest won't ever have to deal with either because of the color of her skin. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Like, it sucks being harassed just because of the color of our skin. It sucks being harassed just because we look different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It does. But whatever, we're here to talk about sex.
That's true. That's true. So
look, I like to have sex with Latin men because they know how to move.
It's a hip thing,
right? They got some rhythm.
For me, it's just I'll say this now. I pretty much have been celibate for almost 2 years. So, and that was my choice. And
nothing wrong with that.
And no, there's nothing wrong with that because I had a different focus on, and because I started thinking, if I really get back into a relationship, and this is what I call it because women get dick dumb. Mm-hmm. We get a dick stuck in us and we're stupid.
That's funny. You know what though? There's truth to that. There is so truth to that. You start thinking because you're horny, not because of you're not logical. I agree.
It's called dick dumb. It's like all of a sudden, you have you have a dick stuck in you, and you can't think straight.
Dick dumb.
I mean, more of that, please, more. Please give me another protein shot, but. And I know, like, a lot of my friends, like, oh, no, it's like, blah, 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 and then get me a guy, and it's like, you never hear from him again for, like at least a month and a half until everything's crappy. So,
Well, okay, there's, like, if you go, okay, had I be single, this is the way I think I would approach dating or something. Now, there's those guys that you meet that you're like, okay, potentially this could lead up to a relationship, or this could be the future, you know what I mean, with this person. You feel that vibe, though. And then there's just people that you're just like, you have this sexual attraction to, and you're like, dude, I just want to smash. That's it. I just want to get down and do the dirty, and then let's go hang out.
Absolutely.
And, like, go shoot some pool later or whatever. Like, nothing, you know what I mean? But like I said, there's a difference.
Absolutely, there's a difference because I've had,
I think there is some women that can separate it though. There's some that get all crazy fatal. Like when you say what you say? Dick dumb. Yes, that is true. I think there's some girls that if they get too clingy and attached too quickly, and then there's some that I feel that almost have a man's mentality that know how to separate it, and it's just sex.
For a long time, that was me.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's an urge and a need that needs to be satisfied just like a man has. Just like you were saying earlier, though, if women have this urge or thought or need.
Sure, we do.
We're like slutty, whores, or whatever. But guys do it, and they're like, oh, hell yeah, that's what's up.
Good for you, dog. Come on. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of you,
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like the double standard.
It's absolutely a double standard. Where
the guy gets praised and the girl gets shitted on.
But I kind of have this another show that I'll talk about. It's called Women Are Snakes and Men Are Dogs.
That's true though. I want to be on that show too.
Come on in.
Invite me for that one.
And for me that mentality is we as women are much more manipulative. We lay in the grass, we plot, and we wait for our right moment to strike. Where a man,
we're calculating. That's what you're saying. We're
calculating and manipulative. Yes. Where a man, we will just come piss on your leg and tell you, "Hey, this is my territory. Please leave me alone."
Right.
Leave it alone. But so that's a totally another show. So
yeah, that's true though. That is very true. Get you thinking though, right?
Yes.
As women, like you're saying, like we're calculating, we're snakes. Right. We're the type of women that's just like, or I'm not saying we are, but women are the type of creatures that would be like,
we calculate.
Yes.
We wait for our moment.
I'm gonna let you piss here. I'm gonna let you think what you want. I'm going to let you be the King Kong of whatever in front of everybody, because the truth is we do control your reality.
We wait for the moment to strike.
Yes, no, that is true.
But, I lived for a long time. I've been married and divorced 3 times. Married and divorced twice by the time I was 21. I didn't mean to hit that. Married and divorced twice by the time I was 21. My third marriage came at 28.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know right now. You got an expensive hobby. It's more expensive to get divorced than it is to get married. I've been divorced.
Not 30 years ago was not that expensive.
But
nowadays. But I haven't been married since 96.
That's not bad. Okay,
So
I've been divorced for going on 11 years myself.
21 years of me not being married. I mean, I've been in a relationship. Yeah. I've been in one long-term relationship in that 20 years. We were together for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then kind of what screwed that up, not that, but I met somebody I fell in love. Before, it wasn't so much about being in love. It was about being in a relationship. I loved this person. I wasn't in love with this person. And then I met the person and that I could see myself being monogamous with. Yes.
Okay, I get it.
The person I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. And he was an idiot and he was broken and,
Us women, we love to try to fix someone who's broken because we think we can.
You know what? I didn't think he was broken.
They never are at first, girl. He
presented himself much better.
But they know how to sell some bullshit up quick.
He totally knew how to sell his bullshit. And it's really funny. One of the funny things about it was that now he's married to a woman that's exactly like his first 2 wives.
So he's a creature of habit and just was looking for the same thing he lost the first time.
Yeah, and for me, I was absolutely the opposite of those. Mm-hmm. And
I'm way different. I'm okay. My current relationship, if we were to get married, I would be his 3rd wife. And I'm very, very different from his prior wives. Yes, night and day. I'm an alpha. I'm definitely an alpha female. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a lot more passive. However, I think we have that mutual respect that I know when to step aside and allow him to be the man. But I'm not gonna lie, every man makes dumbass choices, so we always got to be the women to trump their stupid shit. So,
well, I think that's true. I mean, when my last relationship, or my 10-year relationship, when I was getting with him, I was looking for a dominant male because I'm a very alpha female.
Yes,
and however, in my private life, I wanted a dominant male.
I can see that.
Because a lot of I want to say a lot of submissive women, women who are submissive, are not submissive in the real world. They're submissive when they come behind closed doors. Because submissive in the respect that I know that when I come into your arms, I'm safe and I'm protected.
Is that a classy way of saying a lady in the streets, but a freak in the streets? That's what you're trying to tell me?
Well, no, yes and no. I mean, I think, you know,
why don't you clean the house with your thong on, baby?
A lot of strong-willed...
Why don't you put your suit on when you go to work and make that bread?
Absolutely. A lot of strong-willed women are very much like that. That when they come into the door, they want to know that they can let go that whole personality at the front door. Mm-hmm. And behind this door, they can be vulnerable.
Yeah. I think every woman wants that. Whether they be an alpha or not, I think every woman looks for that. For me, I'm definitely someone who can get bored easily. Like, I straight up told my boyfriend now, when I first got in a relationship, don't let me get bored.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be real with you. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm bored.
We've been friends for a long, long time before we even got together. But I keep it real. I always try to keep it 100 regardless. That way shit don't ever come back on me ever. Because I put it right out there right from the jump. My thing was, don't let me get bored. Do you know what I mean? I have enough respect, though, to address anything that I feel like we need to have corrected.
Okay, we need to do something here. We need to amp it up a bit.
You see how you walked in and the damn swing hooked up? I'm going to need you to fucking handle that shit. I'm about to strap on in that shit.
Right?
Take care of that.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, and that's
sometimes a man needs direction too, though.
Absolutely. Sometimes you need to just come out and say, this is what I need from you today.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of men become obtuse. They become unaware of what you need. Because they get complacent.
You know why, though? Because I think for men, the pursuit in getting a woman is what they look for. You know what I mean? That's exciting for them at first. I think that's the excitement in a relationship at first, is that the pursuit.
Have you ever heard the saying?
But it's like, getting a woman ain't the hard part. It's keeping us. That's what's the hard part.
That's true. Have you ever heard the saying, a woman will be chased until she's ready to be caught?
There you go. No,
because that's true about us.
It's so true.
So
right?
We will be chased until
I want to be with you.
I'm here by choice. I'm not here because,
Girl, I say that all the time. I mean, I love my man. Don't get me wrong. I love him. But I let him know all the time, I'm with you because I want to be with you. Not because I need you. I don't need your paycheck. I don't need nothing from you except I want your friendship. I want your partnership. I want your love. I want your compassion. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I want you to be the one to make me feel vulnerable.
Right. That's where submissive comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you can trust this person enough to be vulnerable.
I've had some pretty controlling relationships. I will say for me, it's hard to be vulnerable. It is. But in this current relationship that I am, I have spurts of when I choose, I guess, to be vulnerable.
But you feel safe enough to be vulnerable.
Not all the time. Not all the time. And not because of anything I feel that it's on him. It's because of me. Because I choose to be vulnerable. But I also, okay, here's the thing about me, though. And I think there's a person like me, I'm very outspoken. I talk about whatever. Just like you, I know
you and me both,
right? You and I both. Like people, like women like us, we're very outspoken, very opinionated. We're not shy. I'm gonna let you know what I want or what I think, and if you come for me, I'm gonna come for you back. You know, pretty much type of a person. I definitely believe that women like us are misunderstood. However, I also strongly believe that women like us, I have more compassion for because I feel that we are a product only of what the world has given us.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I've noticed even in myself, like, for the way I raise my daughters is a product of how the world has treated me. Mm-hmm. So I treat them, I have raised my daughters not to put up with no bullshit, don't ever rely on no guy, none of that stuff. And I'm the same way. I have a wall up. I know this. I'm very thick-skinned and I let shit roll off my shoulders. I don't let things affect me because I choose not to. But I am perceived as cold-hearted or non-compassionate sometimes. And I don't think that's what it is. It's just that I'm not as sensitive as others. Because I think of the way that I have been.
It's not that you're not as sensitive as others. I think you're more aware.
Yes, I have insight. Yes. That's the best way. We have insight.
You're more aware.
So I see.
And I can say that. And I can say that that's who I am now. Mm-hmm. I can say that in that 10 years, I wasn't that way because I had cancer.
I didn't know that.
I just bought this house. I had just bought this house, and I found out that I had cancer. And I went in and I told my employer, and when I was closing on my house and going in for surgery, my job was in the paper. I lost my job. I was out of work for almost a year. I almost lost my house. And so when I got into that relationship, it was more out of security.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily out of love. I mean, he said some amazing things to me. One time he showed up at my door and saying, I know I didn't call, but I just felt like I needed to see you. And it's that's that whole, oh my God, that's that.
You thought of me.
Oh my God, that's the whole movie thing.
You made my heart just skip a beat.
Yeah, you made my heart skip a beat, or or the whole I've dreamed of a woman like you all my life.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there 100% in my heart.
Yeah.
And so I felt I was in there for the right reason of being scared with my daughter, not having a job. I found a job.
Yeah.
But I was scared, and I got into a relationship that maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe it would have been
done that.
Maybe it would have been different.
Just because it was the right time, and it was what is it? It was, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think.
I think it's your moment of need.
Yes.
It was my moment of need. And then I spent 10 years in this relationship. And
convenient. It was convenient. That's what I was looking for.
I spent 10 years in a relationship, and I've ended up being financially hostage.
Oh, God, girl.
Because his money, because it was all about the money for him. Mm-hmm. When I needed help, we would go to the bank, he'd lend me money, and I would pay the bank back. Mm-hmm. So for 10 years, I did that. And I think I gave my daughter the wrong impression. So now I watch my daughter go through these relationships of one right after the other. And it's like, you don't need that.
No.
You don't need that.
I teach my girls all the time that love is someone who loves you does not make you cry, does not hurt you, does not go out of it. They will do anything in their power always to keep you from feeling the hurt.
Right.
That is what love is.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's regardless, unconditionally, will always try to remove that pain even when they can't. That is, to me, what love is. And unfortunately, for me, my daughters have not received that from their father, But I teach them, you see what you deal with your dad, don't look for a boyfriend that's like that either.
But they receive that from...
Oh, yeah, my current partner, yes.
Your current partner.
And even though we're not married, he's raised them for over 8 years.
For me, it's
so to them, that's their dad anyways.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
never
your dad.
Take away from their real,
absolutely.
The biological person who's supposed to have this responsibility for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
a stranger who's willing to come into the situation years after they were born was willing to, give them that compassion and that love that this man who is supposed to genetically love them because he's their father doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
My mom...
I don't mean nothing, genes
my mom once said it takes a lot more to make a father than some man sticking his cock in some woman's pussy. That's right, girl.
All he did was drop off the deposit shit. Me and God did the rest.
So, and I think that, my sexuality probably came from that parental thing.
Of it was wrong all
of
the
it
time.
Being wrong.
And you can't talk about it.
But then I also have this...
that definitely stirred my curiosity. I know that's what it is.
Part of me that I had a stepfather. My mom did that. She married for the sake of her children. And I remember, I'll tell you the story. I remember... Because I was sexually aware of myself. I was sexually aware of my body. I was okay with my body. I lost my virginity, da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. I got kicked out of the house because I was no longer a virgin, and I might have been pregnant, and my dad took me in, blah, 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 blah. I remember thinking that I was okay with my body, and I wanted to be a Playboy centerfold.
What's so funny is that I had that same dream. I was aspiring to be a playmate myself at one point.
And so I did.
And I caught up in fucking having sex, and I got knocked up a young. So that totally killed any other future dream. Sex can totally change your future, that's for sure.
But I had my daughter. I had my oldest daughter.
Oh, this was afterwards.
Yeah, this totally was afterwards. I took the pictures. I was proud of my pictures. They weren't inappropriate. They weren't vulgar. I wasn't naked in them. They were all lingerie pictures.
With Just being naked? With nudity? Are you comfortable with it?
More, probably more before. I've had a tummy tuck. Before I had my tummy tuck, I was.
I mean, in general. I'm
Yes.
not talking specifically
Yes.
with your own body,
Yeah.
but are you comfortable with nudity? Like, if somebody else got naked in front of you, would you be okay with it?
Absolutely. Wouldn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me.
I mean, I lived the lifestyle where it's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you and me both.
you know, why cheat when you could just take him with you? That was always my opinion for a long time. And so, so I did this. I took these pictures and I was so proud of them. And I showed my stepdad, my stepfather, who was my father for all those years. And then I get a call from him one day saying, well, you always wanted to do this. Why don't you come over and do this in front of a videotape? I'm like, okay, that's just a little creepy to me. I had pneumonia at the time. And then later when I told my mom, she said, I deserved it. I asked for it because I showed him these pictures. But
she blamed you for your stepdad making an inappropriate gesture to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
were you brought up Catholic?
No.
I was going to say, damn, because I wasn't. That seems like something, like, no offense, not to bring it on religion now, but all of a sudden, I'm just saying, sometimes, like, the Catholic religion just pretty pounds down on you pretty hard. It makes you feel guilty about your life sometimes.
But see, here,
just saying.
That was my mom's.
No offense to anybody of the viewers who are listening who are Catholic. I'm not trying my own personal experience. That's
my mom's box of bullshit, though. That was her box of bullshit. And so, and basically, I deserved what I got from him. And that's kind of was the thing with my mom. And,
isn't it amazing how sometimes mothers can just say the most fucked up shit in the most fucked up points.
Yes.
I understand that. I didn't always have the best relationship with my mother either. And I've had some pretty horrible stuff happen to me as a child. And when I came to my mom about it, I was pretty much told that if I were to speak on it, I would change and ruin her life because of the way her lifestyle is. Because knowing how my father would react. So there, again, these are things that in our culture we don't speak of or anything like that, and it just sucks.
And that's sad. That's very sad.
Because in a sense, I was brought up to think that there was something wrong with me all the time. Like, I was almost bringing all this onto myself because of the way I looked. Because I developed so young, you know what I mean?
Because
and it was wrong. It was my fault.
Because at 12 years old, you looked like you were 16 rather than 12.
Yes, girl. Are you kidding me? I think by the time that I was 15, or already going to be borderline 16, I was already like rocking a double D.
Yeah.
I had like a size 2 waist. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was very athletic all the time growing up. So it was very hard for me to always put on weight. And like I said, I was aware of the attention that I was seeking. But had I had better guidance, I think I would have handled it better. Like for me, I will say I have twin girls. Those little girls are like mini me's, but they're tinier than me.
I know, I see their pictures and they look a spin image of you.
But they got a booty just like me and they got boobs just like me. And that freaks me out, you know what I mean? And instead of drilling it in their head about them, about the negative attention you're going to be getting and this and that, I teach them differently. I talk openly about everything, to them and stuff like that. And sometimes it's hard, I'm not going to lie, with teenage, especially girls. They like to throw some shit in your face that you've told them about your own past sometimes, just to try to educate and help them. And when they're mad at you, acting like little shit sometimes, they want to throw it back at you. Sure. But, I mean, for the most part, I'm very proud of my girls because they are sophomores. They're into boys, but they're not into wanting to mess with boys. In the sense of, like, they have no interest in having a boyfriend at this time. They're the girls that like having a lot of boyfriends, like male friends.
And that's healthy. That's absolutely healthy.
And here's the better thing though, is they see how all their male friends cheat on all their girlfriends.
Right.
So that kind of gives them a better outlook on how guys and even kids their own age are. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody looking for a real relationship right now, and whoever you're dating right now, I guarantee you're not going to marry. And I always let them know, if you ever lay down with one of these kids, and they knock you up, and I'm being honest because I got knocked up in high school, you are not going to be with him. You see me and your daddy. And I tell them all the time. And I have to say that my girls always tell me, Ma, I don't want no boyfriend. I'm not trying to have a boyfriend. I'm not trying to have sex. I see how stressed out you are, and I'm not trying to be like that. And I'm like, girl, thank you.
Right?
You just made me so proud.
Right, thank you. Thank goddess.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
You know, I mean, and you know, my daughter was reactive at a young age. And, you know, and the best that I could tell her is like, you know, I can't stop you. I just want you to be responsible about it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I tell them the same thing, though. You know, at one point in time, you might have a change of heart.
Right.
You know, and
you're going to have that moment.
You're going to have that moment. You know, I always told them, don't ever let nobody pressure you. If somebody ever tells you, if you love me, you would do this, that's some bullshit. Because if they loved you, they don't make you make a choice like that.
Yeah.
You know? But when that time comes, I have told them, let me know. I'm going to put you on birth control.
Right.
I will get you some condoms. I don't give a shit what I need to get you. Because I ain't going to be no damn 30-year-old grandma.
My daughter.
It's not going to happen. Not today, no ma'am.
My youngest gets mad at me because I do talk about her on air. And it was very funny because at one point we went to Planned Parenthood one time, and she said, like, we were talking about birth control and stuff like that, and I said, well, maybe you wanted this. Well, maybe you want the IUD because it has the least side effects and blah, 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 and you can have it in there for 3 years and da-da-da-da-da, not worry about anything. She's like, I don't want anything stuck up inside of me, and I'm like,
you saying that now, girl.
Why do you think we're here?
You did at one point. That's why we're here.
Hello. And so, you know, that kind of becomes a little bit of a joke with us, but you think about that. It's like, yeah, I mean, I just, you know.
So you tell her you didn't mind getting your pipes clean, baby.
Right. And I tell her, like, I told her, I said, if I am a grandmother before 50, I am going to kill you.
Okay, see, I have teenage high school kids right now. I'm only 34. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be no damn grandma. Are you crazy?
Yeah. You know, grandmahood doesn't start until after 50.
I mean, that would be fantastic. You know? After
50, you can have at it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 51 now, so, you know.
Are you grandma yet?
No, I'm not.
But isn't that like kind of peace of mind for you though, knowing that?
Yeah, I mean, my oldest
now you would be ready to be a grandma.
Sure. You know, my oldest is not going to happen. She's a lesbian.
I would feel like if I had my girls had a kid right now, I would be a mom again because I'm still raising them.
Absolutely,
and I'm not trying to raise no more damn kids. Well, that's what I said. My shop is closed.
There came a time. There did come a time where you know, when that last relationship that I was in, you know, that Amber. My youngest had a boyfriend, and she ran away, and I showed up at his house, and blah, 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 she's pregnant, and we're going to raise it. And I'm like, and where are you going to live?
Right? Oh, hell no. You kidding me?
And this kid's mom's looking at me going, you're just going to throw them out on the street? And I went, yeah, they're old enough to fuck. They're old enough to live on their own.
Right?
Where are you going to live? What are you going to do when you have to decide whether you're going to pay the electric bill or feed your baby?
You know what? I had the experience this past year of taking in one of my daughter's friends with her baby. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, this girl was 16 and her baby was 3 months.
Yeah.
And it baffled the shit out of me why the mother wasn't taking her in, and I had to take her in. But whatever, you know what I mean? I think I saw a bit of myself in her is why I took her in without any hesitation. I think that definitely was an eye-opener, though, for my own girls, because every time her baby cried, they got, you know, they saw that she had to get up, and they woke up with her, because, I mean, the baby cries loud, you know what I mean?
You don't get to sleep.
You don't get to sleep. This baby's, you know, like
24/7.
This is your life here.
This is your life, 24/7. You think you're going to quit, and he's going to be a mechanic, and you're going to be a cosmetologist. Guess what?
Yeah.
All that crap goes away.
That's what I tell my girls, you know, like, all of my girls. I let them know, you know, you guys think that you got a life all planned out, and then some guy comes in the mix. Look at your girl. You know, I said, she's staying on our couch with her baby that we had to go get stuff for. Do you know what I mean? And her own mom ain't even taking her in. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely think that was a reality check to them. So
I think that probably was that was a good experience. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. And for me as a parent, mine was really more about, let's talk about reality here. Mm-hmm. Reality is, because I didn't have that help from my mother.
I didn't either. when I got pregnant with my girls, I got put out.
Right.
I had like a week to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom told me, you have until this day to leave.
Right.
And I literally left like the day before my deadline date, and I moved out of the state, and I literally just started my whole life over with the person that they chose for me to marry. Oh, that's another topic, girl. I had an arranged marriage. That's
totally. We totally can talk about that too.
That's another one. Shoot.
So, but really, I think the whole, that's a nice thing about I love about my show is that
leads to other topics.
Absolutely, we totally talk about other topics, other shows. It's not exclusive to this one sole topic because it definitely takes us to different avenues. To show Mary's listening to our show.
Hey, Mary. I know you can't say hey back, but hey, girl.
Hey, Mary.
Shout out to Mary.
She says, great show, ladies. Love honesty, your laughter. I love you, Mary. So, but definitely, the thing is it's about sexuality. It's about knowing that it's okay to want to crave this desire in us. It's our primal instinct. We're animals, and that's the whole thing is the thing that separates us from an animal is we're taught morals.
I mean, I was going to say that we stand upright, but yeah, sure, we can go with morals.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, there's always this animal attraction with people. We put off pheromones.
Yeah.
We absolutely do. When we break up in a relationship, why people eat chocolate so much is because it creates that pheromone that gives you the euphoric feeling of feeling in love. Mm-hmm. So we put off pheromones. We're attracted to people. It doesn't necessarily mean we're attracted to just the opposite sex. We're attracted to people in general because of their...
Have you ever been attracted to someone in the same sex?
Sure.
I have as well.
Absolutely. Well, I like
to say that I played in the minors, but I just never went pro.
Because what? Because you've never been in the fold. That doesn't mean that you're.
I prefer dick over pussy. That's why. But I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna say. I'm down for a good time.
I'm a lock and key
open person.
I have the lock and key syndrome. I am looking for a key to fit my lock. Mm. I prefer that.
Sometimes you got to try a bunch of different keys to make it
absolutely, absolutely. But
call locksmith, girl.
I can't say that I haven't. Probably that came from my mother. When it was the whole "don't like another one again," and I'm sitting here thinking, "What, a boy?"
You know what? I think that I agree with you on the whole. For me, growing up as well, the whole. Not being able to talk about sex, things just having to be a certain kind of way all the time. You're supposed to be with a guy, because of, again, my culture, my religion growing up. I just wanted to rebel against everything that I was ever raised with. You know what I mean? And not because I feel that it was wrong, but I just feel that I was restricted so much.
See, mine was, you should have been a boy. You were a mistake.
I got been a boy. I'm sitting there thinking, okay. Too, but I'm not going to lie. I'd make a hot-ass boy if I was a boy.
So when I got slapped and told I should not like another one again, I'm sitting there thinking, what, a boy?
Right.
However.
I'm about to have this sloppy Joe going down with this chick. Right. These chicks then.
So, I did. I experimented it in high school. I totally did. And I did with this girl and then
I think you can't help who you're attracted to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Even way back when kings, I know we have one in England right now or whatever, but, when kings were ruling everywhere and all that, they used to sleep with their, the male kings would sleep with their servants and stuff like that. Yeah. They would do sexual favors like that as well.
I honestly think that
goes way back in
sexuality time. Again, we're animals. We have a primal instinct.
Yes.
We have attractions and desires and the thing that separates us is because we've been taught this moralistic way to think instead of this primal way to think. And so here, it's not okay for me to be attracted to you because I'm a woman and you're a woman we can't be attracted to each other because our parts don't fit. But it doesn't mean it's not there.
But they do fit if we get this attachment. This adapter, man. See how that works?
Just saying, women used to love me a lot.
You know what, though? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think there's nothing wrong. You can't help who you love. You can't help who you're attracted to. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it when it comes to whatever gender that you're attracted to. I just think it's sad, the stereotype of it, though. You know, guys get turned on by girls on girls, but they get creeped out, grossed out by guy on guy, which is, I don't even understand that, because I think us as women look at them like, do you understand the stupid logic and what you think?
Well, it's kind of very funny that you say that, because I think about this, and, you know, I kind of like to watch. I like to watch guy on guy every once in a while. It's kind of
people watch.
It's fucking hot sometimes.
I love porno,
but I don't necessarily want to have.
I love to be a spectator and a participant. I'm just gonna say
I don't necessarily want to have a relationship with a man who's bisexual.
I've never been put in that situation.
I mean, you got to think about this.
I've always been with straight guys.
I've been with straight guys too, but
I've been with chicks that kind of, you know, like me. Like, I think we prefer dick, but we're down to mess around with a chick. You know what I mean?
Sure, but so you have to think about this. Would you be okay if your partner wanted to be with another man?
Yeah. Only because in the sense that I feel that if he can give you something I can't, then do the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not an insecure person. I'm not at all. I feel very...
I don't know that it's about insecurity.
Well, okay, you're right. I mean, it wouldn't bother me. Because I feel that it's an urge. Do you know what I mean? Just like if I ever had an urge
I agree.
to make out with another female or to do whatever with somebody else, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How can I not be understanding of your urge to wanting to do the same thing? Like, to me...
That's true.
You know, to me, like, it doesn't bother me.
It's okay for a woman to be with a woman, but not a man to be with a man, necessarily.
Yeah, like, to me, it don't bother me either way.
It's very funny, because...
grosses people out, though, men.
Yeah.
But not to me.
My youngest had a boyfriend.
It shows, you know, to me, in the sense of if a man can do that and not give a shit, it just tells me how fucking confident you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all the people who have something to say about it. Then I look at them like, you just some sad ass bitch, for real.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna listen to you and I'm gonna let you say your shit, but at the end of the day, whether I tell you or not, I think you're a sad ass bitch.
Yeah.
For the sole purpose of that you gotta knock on someone else's happiness and pleasure. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with you?
It's not for me to judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's, you know, what I don't prefer is, that's my issue. But it's also for me not to sit there and
get me an Uber on the way home.
it's not for me to sit here and tell you you're wrong for feeling that way.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there.
I totally remember this one time that one of my girls had a boyfriend, and he shows up at the house and he's like, I'm here to get my stuff, and I'm like, where's my daughter? Oh, we're breaking up. Well, why? Because she was kissing a girl, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Most guys want that kind of shit.
You're like, and you didn't record that?
He's like, she cheated on me because she was kissing a girl.
The problem is what?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Most guys want that kind of crap. They fantasize.
You know what, though? I think when it comes to men, though, it's a sense of insecurity. They feel threatened. Mm-hmm. For me, when I first got into the current relationship I am in now, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in it for 8 years now, but in the beginning, I was very open. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I had an attraction to females
as well. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. You know Take it or leave it.
And, like, given that we've known each other for, like, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have a friendship. However, I think there's a side of me that he hadn't been familiar with, which I was respectfully honest with and told him, you know what, this is what I like to do. This is what I'm into. And I think the first few years that we were together, he was okay with it. But at some point, he just wanted to be just him and I.
And that's okay. But you gotta...
I think it was more because...
You gotta express that.
I don't know how to explain it. Honestly, I think it was insecurity on his end. I really do.
Do you feel that way now?
That he's with me because he's insecure? Mm-hmm. Or... I don't know. It's hard. No, I know he's with me. Oh, that's another topic too.
Well,
he's with me. Okay, no, I know he's with me because he loves me. I know this. However, I do feel that. I don't know. I mean, I've always been a very strong person on my own. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've never needed anybody else to define me or anything. I've always wanted a partner. I don't feel that he feels that he's my equal. I think he always feels as if he's not good enough for me.
Why?
Because I'm so strong-willed. I do what I want. And he'll even say, you do what you want, you have your own mind. And this is true. However, I always take him because of who he is to me, because of the love I have for him and the respect that I have for him. I always, and it sounds messed up to say, I take what he has into consideration. Now, let me explain why I say I take what he has into consideration. I mean, I know that can come across the wrong way as if, like, it's kind of jacked up, you just thinking about what he's saying.
No, I think that's very respectful of what you're hearing what he's saying.
I'm hearing what you're saying, but at the end of the day, it's going to be my choice. Right. And the reason for this is, like, I come from a previous marriage where I was 100% controlled. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had to turn in receipts to any money that I spend. My mileage was checked. I'd get locked in my house. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was 100% controlled. I'm not going to have that
You
again.
were a prisoner in your relationship.
Girl, you don't even know. I lived overseas, and the doors in the house that we lived in the doorknobs did not turn. So if you lock it with the key with the outside.
Were you in Japan?
I was in Germany.
Okay.
You had to unlock it with the key in the inside, and the windows had a key lock too. So if my ex-husband, when we were married, locked the door, I was locked in the house, period, until he got home. Oh. Again, like I said, I came from a very controlled relationship. I will never allow myself to be in that situation again. I left that relationship. It was a very controlled and abusive relationship. I left that, promised myself that I walked away because I refused to allow my daughters to see that this is the way that it should be. And even now, no matter how much I love somebody, if they ever portray any of that same behavior,
I'm out.
We're done. It's a wrap.
Right.
I mean, it don't matter how far back we go, don't matter how much I love you. At the end of the day, I love myself, and I want to love and teach my children, and my girls especially, the right way.
Yes.
Regardless.
Yes.
Like I said, I am a product of what life has given me. And that is why my daughters are raised the way they are, because of how life has been dealt to me. Do you know what I mean? I know that my girls are straight up raw, just like I am.
We're definitely a product of our environment.
Oh, yes.
There's the saying of you are what your parents made you. It's your fault if you stay that way.
I don't. Okay. So, I mean, I was pretty much on my own after I got pregnant with my girls.
Me too.
At 17, I was already having twins, married, and running my own household. And I did not live at home. I lived in Arizona because that's where we were stationed. Ex-husband was military at the time. I am a product of what life has dealt me, because my parents did raise me a certain way. And even as I was raising my own children, I saw myself doing things that they did with me, and I would catch it and try to change it. Because in the end of the day, I'm trying to end the cycle of a lot of the mental abuse that was done to me, physical, and just other things. You know what I mean? Right. And like I said, I'm very open. I'm an open book with my kids. So they ask me something, I'm going to answer it honestly, but appropriate to their age. Obviously. You know what I mean? Even when they ask me shit about sex.
I just tell people I'm going to traumatize my daughter, so when she's in a therapist chair, I get full credit.
You know what's funny? When my girls first asked me about sex, first thing I did was pull up Blue Waffle. Let me educate you. When you want to play like a big grown up, this is what you deal with. Syphilis, gonorrhea. See what that does to your pussy? Do you want that? That looks nasty. It produces this foul odor, and I worked in the medical field, so I'd always come home and tell them these nasty ass stories. I think I actually scarred them from wanting to have sex, but whatever works. I'm very proud of them right now. I mean, they're damn near they're a few months away from when I got pregnant with them, and the fact that they don't even have that interest to me, I'm already winning on my end.
Hey, trust me. For a long time. My daughter will be 23 May 2nd, And I knock on wood every day that I was not a grandparent before 50.
That's right. Me too. Shit.
I mean, I love my daughter, and there's going to come a time and a place when she finds the right partner.
Well, you said earlier one of your daughters is a lesbian.
She's a lesbian. My oldest is a lesbian. She'll never have children. She doesn't like children.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what? One of my girls, she's not lesbian. I think at one point she had an interest in girls. She did ask me, would you hate me if I like girls? And I told her no. I said, I mean, you can't, and that's when I told her, you can't help who you love.
Yeah.
You can't help who you're attracted to. You just got to figure out what works for you.
I tell my children, and like most people, love is love, no matter what form it takes. I mean, the love of your life could be a dog. And I don't mean in a sexual manner.
Yeah.
I mean in an emotional, spiritual manner. The love of your life doesn't necessarily even have to be
in human form.
Mm-hmm. You just have to have this connection. I mean, and when you find it, you'll know it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it may mean that you never find the right partner in human form. You may be okay being alone. Love is love.
Some people are, though. Some people are at peace with that.
Yeah.
I have no problems.
I mean, I think that probably for the first time in my life, I think about going back, when I go back and...
I'm not going to lie. With sex comes complications and problems.
Sure. With sex comes complication problems. And when I go back and I think about it, I never had really been alone until the last 6 years. And I've been by myself. I've been alone.
Do you enjoy it, though?
Most of the time I do. There's not any complications. I don't have to worry about coming home and making dinner. I don't have to worry about reporting to somebody. I don't have to worry. Do I miss companionship? Absolutely. I want companionship. But does it mean that it's the rest of my life?
But it's on your terms at this
right.
point. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's nice.
So, I mean...
I'm not going to lie. First time I married out of obligation and responsibility because I got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work out. I'm in this current relationship out of love. You know what I mean? Because this is somebody I actually care for and have love for. God forbid if it did not work out between him and I hope it does. But if it didn't, I'm not gonna lie. Fuck, next time I'm going for money. I'm not. I mean, straight up.
8 years.
Because I've done obligation. I'm in it for love right now. And if that shit don't work, then I'm just gonna go for money.
But you have to think about this in terms of fighting for what's right rather than walking away from what's wrong. Because so many of us find it easy to walk away from what's wrong instead of looking at what's right.
Yeah, but for how long? How long can you stay in a situation that's not right only because your heart's telling you to be there? Well,
no, I can say that if the wrong outweighs the right, then definitely it's time. It's time to move on. It's time to heal. It's time to grow. But if you can find that there's a reason to fight for something, then it's not over.
I understand that. I get that because I think that has... My current relationship now, like, we've been through a lot of ups and downs. We've been through some traumatic stuff in our relationship, no doubt. And I will say, we did hit a rocky patch where I was with him just straight up out of obligation. Mm-hmm. Because I knew that he was in a fragile state, that if I would leave him, like, something worse could possibly happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because of the traumatic things we had been in together within our life. Now... I can't say that I'm with him out of obligation. I'm with him because I feel that I fell back in love with him.
You want to be.
But I feel that the love that I had for him is what kept me there. But I knew deep down it was out of obligation. Because I know I wanted to end my relationship more than one time. I did. But where I'm at today, opposed to where I was at like maybe 2-3 years ago, is not the same place. Like right now, absolutely. I feel proud and glad that I salvaged it and didn't walk away.
You know, I did a show around Valentine's Day. It was called Fanning the Flames of Love, and I had friends come on and that I've known for a long time. I've known them for over 20 years, and they've been together for 30 years. They were childhood sweethearts, and you know, and when I asked them to come on the show, they said, "Well, we're the wrong people to come on about fanning the flames of love," and I said, "No, you're not.
The perfect ones to come on.
She said, because we fall in and out of love all the time. And I said, that's the reason.
I think that's normal.
Exactly the reason you need to be here. And so it was a great show when they talked about, we listen to what other couples do that we do differently. So we think about our friends and about what they're going through. What do we do differently that they do? They do. And it was a great show because they talked about stuff, about how, they both have gone through a gastric bypass and depression issues. They realize that only one of them is really allowed to be depressed at one time because the other person has to be there to support them. So you have to know that about your partnership.
I think I'm a good rock for my relationship. I think my partner has a harder time knowing how to be a rock for me. I think definitely that, I don't know how to explain it. I'm definitely the foundation, a majority of it anyways.
Because you're the stronger rock.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Where he might be a pebble,
a lot of my own stuff to deal with everybody else's. Yeah. And again, that comes with what life has dealt me. That's why I let things just roll off. I don't let things get to me. There's those few times where you may catch me on a weak moment, you know what I mean? And you will get a reaction out of me. But for the most part, I really try to keep my composure. Because I just don't, if I'm going to waste my energy on something, I don't want it to be some bullshit.
Absolutely. Understandable.
But I like I said, I definitely feel that I'm more the rock for my relationship than I'm definitely the support system. I don't always have that back. I feel like I've taught myself not to be weak.
Well, here's the thing. Relationships are never 50-50.
Ever.
A lot of the times they're 70-30, 90-10. 90-10. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, there's going to be always one of you that puts in more than the other. You just have to determine when is the breaking point when you say, I can't give any more than what I can.
Well, I will say that I've brought it up. I've brought it up, and I think it is corrected. But sometimes it's only a temporary fix. Sometimes it's a long-term fix.
But as long as you're communicating that and there's a fix.
Yeah, I agree. As long as
there's a give.
We have the open communication.
I want to say there's a give.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a give. He's hearing what you're saying. The moment that you say it and he doesn't hear what you're saying, then you know that you're at an impasse.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I agree. I agree there. And I'm very, what did you say earlier? I said we have insight.
Yes, we have insight. Yes.
So I'm very much into I'm gonna let you know what my problem is.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see how you deal with it. You know what I mean? And if down the road we still having the same damn issue and you still ain't doing nothing about it, then we know that you're just incapable of fixing this problem.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's where we lie. Then from there, I need to make my decision if this is something I'm willing to just deal with.
Am I willing to move ahead with it?
Yeah. If not, then because, first of all, I cannot handle people who bitch about a situation that they don't do shit to change.
Yeah.
That's definitely me. I'm just stop complaining about something you ain't doing nothing about. But that's the thing, though. I address every issue that I have. And at the end, I am very straight up forward. If you ain't going to fix this, we're going to have a problem.
Right.
And luckily, with me, in my situation, things are always able to be resolved. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm the dominant person in the relationship because I'm very open to always hearing what he has to say to me. If he tells me sometimes I come on too strong, then I hear that. Then I need to learn to back off sometimes and not be so dominant. Not always talk most of the time, not make most of the decisions or whatever. Just learn to listen sometimes. Because I know as women sometimes, especially alpha females, it's harder for us to just shut the fuck up and listen.
Sometimes we just need to shut up and listen.
Just shut up and listen, girl. Sometimes, that's right. You just need to shut up and listen. I know that's hard for us women sometimes, but I'm learning too. I think in my age,
You're growing.
I'm growing.
That's the key.
That's what it is.
You're
I'm
growing.
not fighting. I'm not making it a battle as much anymore.
Here's the thing. If you're at this point and you're going, this is me. End of story.
I'm choosing my battles. That's for damn sure.
It's about picking your battles. You got to determine, is this battle worth fighting?
With someone you want to be with. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Let it go or just...
You pick your battles.
Keep on going.
You wake up in the morning and you go, oh my God, I freaking hate the way you smell in the morning. Can you please fucking take a shower?
Okay, I have this thing that I tell my man. I tell him, oh my God, I love you so much, I just want to fucking punch you in the face. And he's just like, oh, I want to punch you in the face back. But I'm not going to lie. Like, as messed up and twisted as that may sound sometimes, like, honestly, I wouldn't want to wake up to anybody else but him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I still choose him. With his flaws and all, he accepts me with my flaws and all.
You know,
knowing how I am.
In the lifestyle that I've lived with, the whole, the whole swinging lifestyle, which it's actually my next show, is kind of the whole thing is called monogamy, polyamory, and swinging. But the key is with that kind of lifestyle is you go together, you play together, and in the morning, I'm still waking up with you.
Yeah.
You're the person I still choose to wake up with.
I know for a fact my current person couldn't do that. There's no way.
There's always that risk.
But he couldn't.
Of knowing that. I mean, here's the thing. It's called
I know how to separate sex from love.
It's called
he doesn't.
Non-monogamy. Non-monogamy. There's always the potential that there could be something more between you and this other person that you have chemistry with, sexual chemistry with. Mm-hmm. However, at the end of the day, it's about waking up with the same person you came in with.
Yeah.
And if you know that, then I think that there's so much growth there.
No, I think some people may have a problem with that, though, with the whole monogamy and non-monogamy thing, is because, well, first of all, they're insecure. But, I don't know, it's just, at the end of the day, if it's their own issues. Do you know what I mean? It's their own issues.
It's your box of bullshit.
Somebody else is doing something for you that I can't. Do you know what I mean? Even though in your mind it's just an act. You know, whatever, whether it be just foreplay or the actual whole sexual act. I think for someone who cannot accept that is their insecurity of they're giving you something I can't. They're making you feel a certain kind of way that I can't, or whatever, that you are seeking it somewhere else almost. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
No, I absolutely know what you mean, because for me, when within that lifestyle is kind of like, I am a one-on-one person. I'm not a group person. I totally was a one-on-one kind of persona. But I didn't want my partner in the room, because I don't need you to see the expression on my face, because it means nothing at the end of the day when I come home to you. Mm-hmm. Or
I'm not gonna lie, I might get turned on by watching my partner with somebody else.
But some people might. Yeah. But at the end of the day,
but I'm a freak like that.
But
though. You know what I mean? I don't hide that.
The people that are insecure are not okay with that, because all of a sudden, I am watching you. I'm watching you with this other person. You're having an amazing time. I see this euphoric look on your face that I don't necessarily recognize when you and I are together.
I definitely feel that I have like a man's mentality.
So
I see sex as I think the way men do.
I do too. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do.
So for you as a partner to watch me might not be such a good thing if you're insecure. No. If you know who you are, you know who we are in our relationship, then we're absolutely great. Who's nice to you?
My daughter.
Hello, daughter.
Asking about some Sonic.
So, but if you think about that, you have to think about that in retrospect of who our partners are. If your partner's insecure, then no, you don't want to have them watch you. Mm-hmm. Because then they're going to look at you and go, oh my God, she had a better time with him than me.
Yes. But it's not about that. It's about the excitement and the sexual experience.
Absolutely.
You want to know what thrills me? Shit's wrong. Like, shit, like, the risk of getting caught doing something you're not supposed to. Like, whether it be having sex in a parking lot, in a bathroom, I know sounds ratchet as hell and nasty. But whatever, dude. When you're with somebody who you're, like, really feeling, you know, whether it be your partner, someone you're dating or whatever, someone you have that chemistry with.
No.
Like, dude, just grabbing you up and jackhammering you in a fucking stall. Like, I don't mind that, okay?
Trust me. I've had moments where I've met somebody at an airport.
I mean,
and my
let's check out baggage claim together. Let's go.
And my partner has been waiting at the USO for me, and I'm like thinking, okay, we are at here, and there is a family-oriented bathroom right over there. Let's go play.
Oh, I'm not even gonna lie, man. The last place I got down crazy at was Valentine's Day, like a few years back. My current partner was coming from California because his work sent him on Valentine's, or sent him a couple days before Valentine's Day for like a whole week to go do some training out there and some classes. He came back on Valentine's Day. Girl, I showed up to the airport in my trench coat and nothing but lingerie underneath.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I had like my Ugg boots, you know, so it looked like normal stuff. And I told him, well, let's go take the elevator. And he's like, okay. Just so happens that everyone and their mother was trying to go down with the escalator with their suitcases. So he was down to take the elevator. When we got in there, I ripped open my damn jacket, saw that I was just wearing barely nothing. Ooh, we got froggy in there. That was a good time. But see, things like that is what excites me. Shit that's wrong. The risk of getting caught doing something you're not supposed to. That's thrilling to me. That's what I meant in keep it interesting, don't let me get bored.
Absolutely. Keep it interesting, don't let me get bored. I mean, if you think about this, let's see. I've had sex in a recruiter's office.
Oh, girl, me too.
I've had sex on a rock at the base of the Sandias. I had sex in the stairwell of a church.
I mean, I've been in the parking lot of a church.
Me too. So, but you know, you think about it.
Oh, God, thank you, Jesus. I know I prayed to God a few times myself with my legs up.
But absolutely. Here's the end. You know, I mean, we actually even went 16 minutes over.
Oh, I apologize.
No, don't apologize. I'm okay with that. I have 5 hours a day. Come on. Right. So, you know, really the end scenario of this is sex is good.
Yes.
It's
not a bad thing.
It's what makes us healthy.
Damn straight.
And when we stop feeling that, then we stop living.
Yeah.
And so, as people, we have to accept that we have this primordial instinct, this animalistic instinct that's normal, it's healthy, it helps us thrive, it helps us grow. And when you stifle that, we start to kill who we really are.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. It's so beautiful. Cheers to that one.
Salute to that one.
Right?
Yeah. So, this is Nicolina Nix, and you're listening to Women, Wit, and Wine, and I hope you'll be back next week with monogamy, polyamory, and swinging.
Y'all better listen in.
Have some amazing guests, and thank you for Diana for joining me, and
no problem.
She will definitely be back.
That's right.
Have a great night, guys.
Toodaloo. That was fun.